a 10-year NFL veteran, man. Ben Leber joins the show. Appreciate him coming in.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
How you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. How you guys doing?
Man, I appreciate you coming. Hey, you got to tell me, so are you born in Iowa, moved to South Dakota, back to Kansas?
Wow. Wikipedia is pretty accurate. Yes. So
I mean, that's like three places I never wanted to recruit. God,
so I was born in Iowa.
You're from the worst recruiting hub in America, those 3 states.
Yeah.
How did you make it to the NFL? God.
Well, the thing is, you wouldn't have known me. I had to go. I was like a lot of other under-recruited guys. I had to go be seen. Listen, South Dakota football now. So it was Iowa. My dad took a job in South Dakota when I was in middle school. We moved to South Dakota. My town in South Dakota, you take out the University of South Dakota, it's about 5,000 people, general population. So we're a small South Dakota school. Nobody recruits that area. Now you're finding some big-time studs. I mean, it seems like they all go to basically North Dakota State and Iowa if they're from South Dakota now. But I was recruited. I answered a recruiting letter from Kansas State, and my parents, didn't have a ton of money. I actually want to go to University of Colorado's camp, and they're like, "Whoa, that's like, $600," and K-State's like $300. So how about K-State? I'm like, sure, let's just go. I knew nothing about K-State. I go down there. I must have played well at the camp, and about 3 weeks later, they sent a letter. Again, dating myself here, and there's no social media. They sent a letter just saying, "Hey, we want to offer you a scholarship," and so I took it. That's it.
Hey, you know why? Because the JUCO guy found you, and that's why we're the best. I'm just telling you. Like, Venables found you, Garden City JUCO coach. That's where he got his cut. He goes to K-State with Snyder. Billima and all these guys came, and all these other guys came to coach backers over the time. K-State and Snyder just seemed to have always found the coach that knew how to find diamonds in the rough for some reason, especially during that era. Marvin Simmons, one of my former kids, went there, played for Snyder there, and you had all those linebackers. Then, gosh, damn, what's his name? Jeff Kelly, who's also a Garden City backer.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. I'm like, you got to know Jeff Kelly.
Yep. My old mentor and Coach Liker coached him at Garden, and then you had what's his name? Travis Oaks' brothers played with me at Fort Hays State in Kansas. And then Mark Semino, his sister, and I are really good friends. I've known her forever, and I know Mark forever. So that was you got some legends, man.
Listen, I didn't realize what I was really walking into, but Dirk Oaks, I was scared of him for a long time.
No doubt.
I got to be good friends with Travis, his brother, he was the guy that was hosting me on my recruiting trip. He and Mark Semino, and I remember meeting Dirk, and I'm like, why is this guy always pissed off? Like, why is he always mad? Is this how Division I football is? And, then
hey, what were you guys called? Were you guys called the lynch mob or something?
We're still called the lynch mob. And I got to be honest, I don't know how we get away with it. In this day and age, I don't know how we get, there's so many sensitivities in this world. I don't know.
Kansas.
I know, but they're doing it on national TV. I mean, the guys are throwing up the lynch mob, and I'm like, people are asking what it is. I'm like, I think it helps. Smitty can answer it because he a brother. I'm just fucking with him. But the lynch mob is Ice Cube growing up in LA. The lynch mob had its own like culture in a rap game. Like Ice Cube had a whole album and a whole group called Lynch Mob. So I think it helped that too. And that was around the time that I remember you guys late 90s or mid 90s or whatever when it started to create, probably right before you, right? You got there early 2000s. So I think it helped. I don't know, but it is awkward. It is wild. But it is what it is. Appreciate you hopping on, man. A lot of K-State, Kansas stories. I'm sure my former boss, we've had a lot of K-Staters on lately. She's a legend, Hall of Famer there. She's in the rafters in the basketball arena, Tammy Romstead, so Olympian and everything else. So she was my athletic director there in Independence, Kansas for 4 years. So a lot of Kansas history in the room, man. So
for sure.
And thank you. Hey, so were you with the Chargers? You played with, I think, one of my receivers, though. Nate Turner was there with you.
Yeah, Nate Turner was there.
Orlando, linebacker Orlando. Ruff. He's my neighbor.
He is?
Yeah, Orlando's my neighbor, yeah.
No,
and he's also my lawyer.
Yeah, well, tell Big O I said hello.
I will.
It's been a while, man.
I just texted him and said you're on. So yeah. And then we have Eric Guedo on our show every week. So E-Dub. So he's a legend there in San Diego before obviously moving to LA. So anyway, we got a lot of questions for you. I appreciate it.
No, for sure. And let's start right there. I mean, you get drafted to the then San Diego Chargers, man. Obviously, we just left the draft about a month ago. Like, let's start there. Like, you get the call, you're going to be a San Diego Charger. Take us back down memory lane. Like, what was that feeling like? Knowing your background, your history, coming from like a small town, and what JV calls the areas that you wouldn't recruit at. You know what I'm saying? And now you're getting drafted to the NFL. Like, what was that feeling like?
I mean, it was surreal. The whole process was pretty surreal. I didn't have, going all the way back to childhood, I didn't have NFL aspirations. I was not one of those guys that, can remember back to when you're 5 years old, wearing a jersey saying I'm going to be in the NFL and putting it on your yearbook and all this other stuff. Like that was not me. Like I wanted to be an astronaut, I watched Space Camp as a kid and I'm like, that looks like the coolest job ever. I want to do that. Yeah. Because we weren't exposed to it back in the day, I think being a professional athlete was just, it didn't even make sense to put your brain behind it. So, the whole process was just crazy. Back then it was a 2-day process and not a 3-day process. So I was told by my agents that I could go anywhere between late second and like the 4th round. So that puts your anxiety level at about, 5 o'clock on a Saturday that could bleed into the next day on Sunday and just kind of waiting around. And, so I didn't have a huge party. I just had my immediate family, some friends over to my apartment. And I thought the Chicago Bears were going to take me late in the second. That's kind of what, based on interviews and some of the steam that they were giving my agent, that's what they were thinking. And so we were watching late on Saturday night, the Bears trade that pick in the 2nd round. And I'm like, well, I don't know who else is interested. All these teams I now learn keep everything pretty close to their chest. So I didn't know who was going to draft me. We get into the 3rd round and then the phone rings. And the funny thing is Minnesota, the Vikings were next on the clock. Okay. And so I thought it was the Minnesota Vikings. I pick up the phone and it's not, it's John Butler, who was the new GM in San Diego. I talked to him and I'm like, San Diego. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And, it's like, I'm just like all those other guys you see on TV now. I'm like, hey, yeah, great. Yes, I'd love to be a Charger. Okay. And then they hand you off to all these other people. And I'm talking to Coach Schottenheimer and, the whole room's just like silent, just like watching me on the phone. And then I get off for, 3 minutes or so. And, I'm like, I'm going to San Diego. And then you see it pop up on the screen. So it's crazy how it all happens. You wait around all day long. I was a nervous wreck. My brothers and my dad are playing cards, having drinks, and I'm just sitting on the couch, just chewing my nails. And then we go out and celebrate. And then we drank about every damn thing in Aggieville that night at about 9 o'clock.
Hell yeah, love it. Hey, so so right now, currently, you're doing what? Sideline stuff for the Vikings?
Yeah, so during the season, I am the radio sideline analyst for the Vikings on the flagship radio station here in the Twin Cities, KFAN Radio. And then I also co-host a lifestyle TV show on our ABC affiliate in the afternoons. That's a daily show. So every day from 3 to 4:30, we are live talking lifestyle stuff. We're food, fashion, and fun.
All the ladies in the chat, I know you guys like what you're seeing, so go follow him. Go follow him, Lucy, Jada, all you guys. Real quick, what got you? So you get scooped up by the Vikings, I know, in your career, I think later on, right after your deal in San Diego's done. Is that something you like? You wanted to stay in Minnesota after football? Is that why you're here specifically, or what? Or just kind of how it fell?
Yeah, you know how life circumstances. My wife and I end up having kids. Like when we were in San Diego, it was the best. We intentionally did not try to have kids. We're like, let's just continue to be young, older kids in life. Enjoy San Diego, which was awesome. One of the best decisions that we made. And then when I got up here to Minnesota, I was like, all right, I'm 29 years old. she's 30, let's if we're going to do this, let's do this. So we have 3 kids now. And then when I got done playing, it was, where's the best place to raise a family? And we just kind of did, the pluses and minuses and all that. And the Twin Cities just came out on top, especially with job opportunities for me being so close to the Vikings still. So it was kind of an easy decision. So that's why we're still here. We've been here almost 20 years.
Man. I want to go back to your Chargers, Tom. You played on some really good teams, man. I think it was 2004. You guys, I think went like 12-4, won the division. You were there with obviously LT, Breeze, Tonio Gage. Just talk about, I guess.
We just had Merriman on. We just had Shaun on.
Oh, we did. Just talk about how loaded though, some of those teams were, how good you guys were, and then also to follow that up, I guess. What was the issue? What was the thing that kind of, kept you guys away from like getting to that big game, like during your time there?
Well, let me just first say by saying, you guys had Merriman on, you said?
Yeah, we did.
All right. So Shaun and I did not get along for a while. Shaun and I are boys now.
Yeah.
But so I kind of smile because, we're all competitors. We had changed from a 4-3 to a 3-4. I went 1 year in a 3-4. It was a good year for me, but I'm not an outside rusher. I did my best. But, I have my blinders on thinking that this is the best season I've had. I contributed in so many ways. The coaches were all super happy with what I did. And then we go out and draft a first rounder out of Maryland as an outside linebacker. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
He's coming for my job.
I like it. Let's go.
Yeah. So, so I was.
So you were like, this guy's getting drafted to take my spot.
Exactly. And so, and we kind of got off to a rough start. He probably doesn't even remember this, but it sticks in my mind. But we put all the rookies in a hotel down from Charger Park, about a mile, maybe less than a mile. I'm driving to practice during training camp, and it's hot out and all this other stuff. And I see him walking on the side of the road, walking to the facility. So I'm like, hey man, you want us to jump in? I'll give you a ride. He's like, absolutely. So he jumps in, we take the short ride to Charger Park. We get out and there's not even a thank you, not an acknowledgement, nothing. And I'm like, man, what a little punk, I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to be a nice vet here. He's trying to take my job. I'm doing the right thing. And we just never got along when he was there. Well, because, I got my panties in a bunch because he wants my job.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, so now thinking back, are you kind of respect it, huh? Like, all right, fuck you.
Oh, yeah. I would have done, similar things. I mean, maybe I would have at least said thank you getting out of the car. But I think that my head would have been down too, and my head would have been like, I got to go out and I got to get this guy's job. I'm a first round draft pick. I got a lot of expectations. I got to go out and prove myself. So, so there was that sort of that conflict, I think, between us. That was sort of nonverbal. Now we're boys. Now every time we see each other, we laugh, we hang out, all this other stuff.
And you were in the league, what, a year already or 2 prior?
I was going into my 4th year.
Okay, so you're a veteran. Okay.
Yeah. And so
no doubt.
So anyway, it's I love seeing what he's doing now with all of his lights out stuff and all of his MMA stuff. So it's great. But anyway, to get back to your question, Big Smitty, is I remember getting in the locker room,
Darnell,
and Junior Seau's there, and I'm like, okay, this dude is an icon. He's already a Hall of Famer. I mean, I think he was in his 10th year at that point in time. Been to, he's like 5-6-time All-Pro already. All this other stuff, right? Like you could tell immediately, like the magnetism that this guy had was astronomical. Everybody just wanted to be around him. He wanted everybody around him. He lit up every room that he walked into. And then fortunately for me, he was super cool. And he just took me under his wing. I got to know all of his people on his inner circle outside of football. And, I think part of it is like he wanted me to pay for lunches at all the linebacker lunches. But, he had such a way about him. And then you throw in LaDainian and Drew and Rodney Harrison and Marcellus Wiley and I'm in a huddle my rookie year. They kind of quickly moved me from second team to first team in mini camp. And I remember just dying. I was so tired because I was doing all the special teams. I was taking a lot of the 2s reps and then I was getting 1s reps. And I remember one time I didn't buzz out to the flat fast enough because I was gassed out. And Rodney Harrison cussed my ass out in the huddle. And I'm like, damn, man, like this is what the NFL is. Like this is crazy. This is unrelenting, dude. Like I'm not even in pads right now. We're just in helmets and spider pads. And like I'm dying. I'm getting cussed out by another vet who I respect. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can hack it. That first year was kind of rough because it's like so much is thrown at you and you have these big personalities that are just like on top of you all the time.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, man. 10 years in the league. That's a hell of a deal. You know, and you can pass like as a USO. So I know why Junior took you around Oceanside and shit. I already know. You can pass. And no doubt you can pass. We got some USOs in the chat right now watching. So and Marcellus is a good friend of mine, grew up with him and worked with Smitty here as well. Yeah, so he didn't know you very long though. But yeah, anyway, I'm fucking with Smitty. Let me ask you something real quick. So what's your big takeaway right now in the current landscape? You're on the sideline, you get to see these guys, and you played in the kind of the era where we bang still. And we hit and we had kickoff return and we had real football.
Don't say we, but yeah.
Yeah, I meant. So I'm 2 years older than Ben even. But anyway, where are you at now watching this? Is it totally night and day, or are you like, it's still football in the trenches, but outside of that, it's kind of 7-on-7? That's what a lot of guys are saying now on the show. Where are you at with what you're seeing sideline-wise?
I think the pendulum's swinging back the other way. And, really? I'm not saying that just because of the way Philadelphia won this year. I think it's been happening slowly.
Yeah.
The last maybe 2 or 3 years, I think trench play has become – much more, I guess, more old school, back to the physicality. I think we're starting to understand that the run game is important now. And nobody's saying that we have to bring back Jerome Bettis by any means. But I think the importance of finding some balance and beating people up. We went from 7-on-7 league where linebackers are smaller. Everything was about speed, spacing, making people miss, breaking tackles in the open field. And now they realize, man, we can psychologically take these guys' soul in the second half if we just attack these guys downhill. And so I'm seeing a more physicality in the game. Now, practice is like pretty soft, These guys,
it's crazy.
They don't really practice that hard physically. I know that they're increasing some of the live type stuff in practice. So they're getting their reps in, but you know how it is back in the day. It was, true two-a-days. We were banging all the time. I mean,
harder than the game, huh? Harder than the game.
Harder than the game. I mean, I still remember Lorenzo Neal, who and I, we were going against each other in practice all the time.
Roll.
Oh, he looked like a Ninja Turtle out there with his big old shoulder pads on and his neck roll, and he's just walking around, and he's all gruff and pissed off all the time too. And he's in practice on Wednesday and Thursday, and we're in 9-on-7. And he's like, man, why are you going so hard? I'm like, because I got Greg Minuski up my ass as a linebacker coach. He's telling me to get after you. We can't brother-in-law right now because I don't know. It's week 14 of the season, and we're still banging each other. So
that's shot though, huh?
Yeah,
Shotty, yeah.
He didn't play those games. I know too many people played for him. He was just full. He was old school.
Old school. And the thing is, Brad showed us when I got to Minnesota. We thought coming from a West Coast system in Philadelphia, we're like, these are going to be like easy training camps. Like we're good. And the very first padded practice that we had with the Vikings, his first year back in 2006. He calls up practice after individual period. And we're like, man, what's he calling up practice for? Like, this is awesome. Is he going to throw us a bone already? Right. Like, are we going to go bowling or something?
Yeah.
We're like, yeah. So we all circle up and he's like, listen, next 2 periods, we're going live to the ground. And we're like, what? I'm like, what? Like, for real? We're going live to the ground? And it was like, move the ball, situations. And it was like that. We were full pack hitting each other for like 10 days straight. Like it was no joke. It may have been worse than Schottenheimer's camp. And you did that basically his first 2-3 years I was with him.
Damn. Yeah, Brad's a gutty cat too now. Hey, was Wayne Nunley there with you in San Diego?
Yeah. Nunley was there too.
Yeah, I know Wayne my whole life, man. So a lot of people don't know Wayne's kind of an innovator. He was the one that created this stick with the football on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Really?
And you know, he sold it to the NFL and probably got screwed, man. To this day, he regretted it. I know.
Every team ever uses that. High school, college. I'm a former D lineman. We all we live by that.
Hey, Wayne invented it, Smitty, and he did it with a broomstick and glued a ball on it one day years ago, and then sold it patent to NFL, I think, for only a couple mil, man. And now that thing is sold everywhere on every which way you can think of. That boom. That he was doing that shit in JUCO college.
It's so simple, but so important. That's crazy.
Yep, crazy. Shout out to Wayne, man. He used to get after it too. Ben, where you at with this off season, real quick, with your Vikings? I just got to ask because Sam Darnold, watching it, having played him in high school here as a coach, and then seeing him at SC, and then I'm kind of one of the guys on his side. I think he just needed the structure and an offense, which he got and started and balled out for you guys last year. And obviously hit a wall. You guys didn't do what you wanted to do. Had to come out west. The Rams were on a little heater. They get by you, and now get rid of him. You're on to a guy that hasn't played yet. Is that really where we are? And then how true was it that you guys were trying to get Aaron?
You know, I'll start with the Aaron thing. I think that the way I understand, there are conversations for sure. You know, KOC and Aaron know each other. They have a history together, obviously respect each other. And I think that there was this an open dialogue of like, okay, if you're interested, what's it look like? And I don't know. I think every team has to make that phone call. You have to have that dialogue and that communication, because this guy's a Hall of Famer that, you know, just has that sort of it factor. And if you can get him in the right situation where he's happy, who knows what can happen. No idea what that dialogue was. Obviously, it wasn't a serious conversation. I don't know how much they actually, you know, really contemplated bringing him in here. But the way I understand it with JJ McCarthy is this was going to be his team. The Vikings for a long time wanted to get out of these major guaranteed contracts with Kirk Cousins. And they want to be able to spend some money and have some flexibility to build the roster and build the depth. And so I think that was one of the first things with this new regime coming in with Kwesi and KOC was, okay, let's see if we can sort of get rid of these big contracts and go young and see what that looks like. And so when they drafted McCarthy, to me, that was the wraps for everything for the next 10 years, hopefully, was he's going to be the guy. We're going to get him on a rookie deal. You're going to have to pay him, obviously, after that rookie deal. But here's how we can build a roster. And that's the plan that they wanted to stick to. So when they brought Darnold in, you know, I was saying even halfway through the season when he was on a heater and he was playing almost at MVP level, I said, it doesn't matter if this guy takes us to the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter if we lose or win the Super Bowl. It's not his team. Like, he's going to say, thank you guys so much for getting me in my next contract. We're going to say, thank you so much for bringing us to where we were going. And it's a mutual handshake agreement that this is a one-year bridge quarterback situation. And a lot of people don't realize that McCarthy was almost beating him out in training camp. He was playing that well until he got hurt. So there was a lot of optimism that at that point in time in August, that when McCarthy got hurt, they're like, this guy's got something, man. And so if he can accelerate in this program at this point, imagine what he can do with another offseason after he comes back from this injury and really leads this team. So that's where we are. We're super excited to have JJ. You know, we added to our depth, our roster immensely, solidified the offensive line. Donovan Jackson in the draft was a huge home run. You know, maybe not the sexy pick for fans, but it was a need at left guard, and then really penetrate. And then we added some good guys on the outside. So, you know, I couldn't be more excited for what the Vikings have here in the season.
So the fan base and everybody in Minneapolis is full on board with this JJ deal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would say 80-90% of people that I talk to are super excited about it. I think that there was that small group of people that really wanted Aaron Rodgers to come just because they're like, why do we have, if Aaron is going to give us 1 year and JJ is going to take over after that, like, why can't we just have maybe this one magical year? Because we all had that taste in 2009 when Brett Favre came here when I was on the team and we went to the NFC Championship game. Everybody has that in the back of their mind. So like, why can't we have our cake and eat it too? Get Aaron here, have him do the same thing that Favre did, hopefully win the whole thing, and then it's JJ's team after that. I understand that, but I think it would have added just too much of a conflict in that quarterback room.
Yeah, like JJ has one more year, he has to sit out. It's like, now he's probably not mentally, probably not fully all the way there. I can imagine, I can see that. I can definitely see that, JB.
Only thing is, if that was the thing, then they would have just kept Sam. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's how I don't know. I'm just saying if that's what their mindset. I think they're clearly like Ben saying they're moved on to JJ and it is what it is.
I'm excited to see JJ because like just looking like the way he was used in college under Harbaugh's offense, we know that was a run heavy team and system, defense first. Like I feel like I didn't get a chance to fully see his full slate of skills, but like, every time we speak with someone close to him or like with the team, they're all with their same like passion and energy. Like this guy has it. This guy has the skill. He has everything. We saw a sneak peek of it in the preseason, obviously last year, but we didn't get a chance to see everything. So I can't wait to see him now.
Yeah, we'll see. Ben, man, we can't thank you enough, man, for coming on the show, and good luck to everything you got going on. And I'm sure all the ladies are gonna go watch your daytime show. And hey, I'll tell Orlando and Nate and everybody that I saw you, man, and appreciate you hopping on, man. Hopefully we do it again during the season.
Yeah, let's do it again. Thanks for having me on. Tell everybody I said hello, and let's do this. Let's not be strangers.
Definitely, brother. I appreciate you. Good luck and everything. Thank you.
Thanks, you too.
Take care. Bye-bye.